Hey guys, there are skills that differentiate good drivers from bad or average ones. And I'm not talking about excessive speeding, causing accidents, or running red lights. And if you do any of those things, you're probably a bad driver anyways. But even if you don't do any of those things, it doesn't mean you're a good driver either. Unless you possess the skills that we're going to talk about today. If your passengers are bracing themselves, spilling their drinks, or getting sick all the time, that's on you. It's always on the driver. The main sign of a bad or an average driver is that they don't drive smoothly. And if you find yourself in this position, don't worry. In this video, we're going to talk about why driving smoothly is one of the main skills that every good driver possesses, and how to actually practice driving smoothly. And the main disadvantage of driving aggressively is the increased risk of an accident. Because whenever we do any abrupt inputs to our car, whether it's accelerating, braking, or turning, it's much easier to upset the car and much easier to lose traction with the road. And that's why every good driver needs to learn how to drive smoothly first. No need to ask, he's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. And this is a great segue to our next section, which is slow, smooth, fast. There is a maxim that special forces use, and especially Navy SEALs, and it goes like this. In order to be fast, you have to be smooth, and in order to be smooth, you have to be slow. So if we want to learn how to drive smoothly, we need to learn how to drive slow first. And if you're watching this video, you probably know how to drive slowly. So that's why an ideal situation where you wanted to learn how to drive smoothly is in the city. For example, in Vancouver, all of the roads have a speed limit of 50 kilometers per hour, which makes it much easier for us to learn how to drive smoothly at a slow speed. And this principle from Special Forces actually went beyond, and now it's used all over the place. It's used in racing, for example. And even though we're not driving at racing speeds on the public roads, it's still applicable to the real world. And if you think about it, it actually applies to some everyday tasks we do. When we first learned how to talk, we did it slowly, cohesively, coherently, but we wouldn't be able to do it at a faster rate unless we haven't started slowly. And the same goes towards driving. You cannot expect yourself to be driving fast, safely, without learning first how to drive slowly and smoothly. So first things first, let's talk about accelerating smoothly. The key is to squeeze the gas pedal very smoothly, very consistently, at a slow rate. Today it's very wet outside, so if I would just smash on the throttle and my car is front-wheel drive, what would happen is that my front tires wouldn't have any traction with the road, and I'll just spin my front tires without actually moving anywhere. The goal is to gently squeeze the gas pedal so that you cannot actually feel this jerkiness whenever you accelerate. And you would ask me, I don't want to go that slow. Why would I just be all the time gently squeezing the gas pedal? And I'm going to explain you why. And right now we're in the city. If I would just accelerate too harshly like this, I would end up jumping on my brakes very quickly, as you can see here. And it's a very inefficient way of driving. If you're gonna just smash on the pedal all the time, you're gonna end up braking all the time. So you're gonna be just wasting all of this energy that your engine has produced by you pushing the pedal, and you'll just waste it in a matter of seconds by braking. But if you're just accelerating very smoothly, you could spend more time just coasting like this. And if you know how fuel efficiency works in modern cars, you would know that you're not losing any fuel unless you're touching the gas pedal. So we just want to maximize this coasting effect of not touching our gas pedal. If I would just accelerate too hardly again, I would need to brake again for this car. So this just doesn't make sense to me when I see people accelerating from the red light harshly and then braking harshly as well. And they do it every single stoplight. And the other great thing about accelerating smoothly is that you will understand how to perfectly and most efficiently accelerate your car so that it has a maximum amount of traction. So I found an empty parking lot for you to demonstrate what I mean. You can lose traction in a front-wheel drive car when it's wet. So put ourselves in sport mode, and I'm just going to smash on the throttle. You see? We have the traction control warning showed up on our dashboard, and you can hear the tires squeal because they lost traction with the road. Okay, with this out of the way, let's talk about braking, because whenever we accelerate, we have to brake at some point, right? So one of the main things that I notice that can be improved from many drivers is that they actually can find the braking zone right and they brake at the right time, but whenever they actually get to the full stop, they kind of jerk their car. So let me explain. So right now I'm smoothly going into the brake pedal, and when I go to a full stop, I just lift my brake pedal a little bit. So then there's actually no even a sign of a jerk. And this is called by some people as a limousine stop. I like to call it a chauffeur stop as well. So let me show you how most people do it. They go like this and they just stop, and the whole car just jerks. To understand it better, just imagine that you have a water bottle full just stuck on this dashboard, and your goal is to not spill anything from this drink. One other disadvantage of braking harshly could be explained if you have ever rode a bicycle before, and you know if you just brake harshly onto your rear tire, you're just gonna spin out and your rear end is gonna go sideways. So the same is gonna happen in the car, especially in these wet conditions, if you just brake too harshly during the turn. You're just gonna upset the balance of the car and risk losing control of it. You want to apply the pressure consistently and smoothly. You don't want to just smash on a brake pedal unless it's some kind of an emergency. But from time to time, we actually have to turn our car. And let's talk about turning. And our main tool to turn is this steering wheel. All our inputs with our hands have to be smooth as well. Smooth operator. You don't want to just go fast in one or the other direction. Let's say you're changing lanes in the city. You want to show your turn signal, and your steering wheel motion is very, very smooth. You see, like, it's even imperceivable for some people that I have actually turned my wheel. You don't want to just go into the rain like this. It's unsafe. It's too fast, and people are just going to be annoyed by you. Right, so we came to a neighborhood where we can explore turning smoothly on intersections and stop signs. Some people like to juggle their wheel like this. And you see that it's actually not very effective. So even when you make a U-turn, your motions have to be very smooth with your steering wheel, so that you can even make turns like this possible. Let's just talk basics of smooth turning at lower speed. Let's say I want to turn right here. So what I like to do is to hold the wheel with my right hand like here, and then when I turn, all of my shuffles are at 9 and 3. And I just let go of the wheel and it will just center itself. And again, we turn left hand here, we just turn, you let go of the wheel, like this. There's many ways to shuffle the wheel, and you're probably seeing many techniques. You don't need to put your left hand at this point if you want to make a U-turn here every time. You can just do something like this. So once you master this technique, you'll be able to turn actually at a fast rate. So let me show you. And you're actually being safe. So let's make sure there's no one here, no one behind us, no one on this side. Let's make a U-turn again. So now I can go faster and it's still very smooth and safe. Once we learned the techniques of smooth accelerating, braking, and steering in the city, we can apply those skills on the highway where the speeds are usually higher. So let's say you've learned how to accelerate smoothly on the street. Now we can apply those skills when we are accelerating onto the highway. And if you have a car that can do it spiritedly and accelerates relatively fast, you can do it safely even in these conditions. So we are approaching the on-ramp, and let me put us into the sport mode to illustrate to you how you can accelerate smoothly and spiritedly onto the highway using the techniques we explained in this video. So this highway looks like it's going to be crowded. So one of the tips I can give you, if there's no one behind you, you can just leave room for these cars. So I'm trying to be as slow as possible so I have more room to accelerate right now. Yeah, I think that should be enough for us. So what we do, again, smoothly pushing the throttle. And you see, like, all of my inputs are smooth. My steering is smooth right now. And we can enjoy it, you see? Now let's give room for this Jeep right here. And we are on the highway. And that was quite fun. And it was safe, most importantly, because we have mastered the smooth throttle input. So let's say we want to accelerate to pass this Lexus in front of us in this left passing lane. And again, we just smoothly go into the throttle. We gain some speed. And we safely pass this Lexus. And again, if you watched my videos on how to drive on highways, we have to come back to the cruising lane on the right. So let's say I'm going quite fast, approaching this truck in front of me, and I feel like I need to brake. I smoothly go into the brake pedal, and I maintain the same speed at this truck right now in front of me. And you see, I'm going over 100 kilometers an hour, and I'm still safe because all of my inputs are smooth. Even if you change your lanes, it has to be as smooth as possible. I explained it better actually in one of the videos. You can check right now by following this link. But in short, let me just quickly demonstrate to you how to do it smoothly. So I show my turn signal well in advance, and I smoothly turn my steering wheel. Look, the steering wheel doesn't even look like it's turning, and I'm in this lane already. Good drivers, and especially professional racing drivers, know that you have to be smooth to go fast. And good drivers can go fast and being safe for themselves and for other people only because they have learned how to drive smoothly, slowly. They've all started by going slowly and learning how to be smooth in order to be as good as they are right now. Everyone was at some point not very good at driving. But I think this is part of the fun, is to learn all of these things at a slower rate. But the main thing is to actually practice yourself. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something new. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.